Hey everyone, and welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're going to be talking about something that's probably pretty important to us if you're a pet owner here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And that is SPCA Pet Insurance. We're going to dive into what they offer and see if it might be a good fit for you and your furry friend.
Now, what I think is really cool about SPCA Pet Insurance is that it's not just about getting coverage, it's also about giving back.
Okay.
They've actually partnered up with the Royal New Zealand SPCA.
That's awesome.
So when you choose them, you're not just getting insurance, but you're supporting a good cause, too.
I love that. It definitely adds like a feel-good element to the whole thing.
Right.
And speaking of good things, I saw that they cover up to 90% of eligible vet bills.
Yeah.
Which sounds pretty amazing to me.
It can definitely make a huge difference, especially when you're hit with those unexpected vet costs, which, let's be honest, happens to the best of us.
Yeah, they do.
And that's actually where their flexible policy options come in. You can actually choose from 3 levels of cover: basic, mid-tier, and comprehensive.
Oh, so there's like...
to find what really suits your needs and your budget.
Okay, so there's a choice for every pet parent out there.
Exactly.
Now, what about those of us with like multiple furry family members? Do they offer any kind of discount for that?
Absolutely. They have a multi-pet discount, which is fantastic.
Why?
So you get 10% off for every additional cat or dog that you insure with them.
Wow.
So the more pets you have, the more you save.
That's awesome. That's great for multi-pet households, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, they also talk about being made for New Zealanders.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious what that means in the context of pet insurance.
Well, it really reflects an understanding of just how strong the bond is between Kiwis and their pets and the specific needs that we have as pet owners in New Zealand.
Right.
So their policies are very much designed with that local context in mind.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's good to know they're catering to that. But let's get down to like the nitty-gritty here.
Okay.
What are some examples of what they cover? I saw they mentioned things like arthritis in dogs and foreign ingestion.
Yeah.
Which, let's be honest.
Common problem.
Yeah.
Especially with pups.
Yeah, it happens. And those are things that can lead to some pretty hefty vet bills.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Those can get expensive fast.
Yeah.
And for cats, they cover things like, bites, falls, illnesses, and those all-important vet consultations as well.
Right.
So those examples really just highlight the range of situations where pet insurance can really provide that financial support that you need.
It's definitely reassuring to know you're covered for those like unexpected events that can pop up. But it's not just about the coverage, is it?
Right.
They also highlight their like award-winning service.
That's right. They've actually been recognized for their excellent customer service.
Wow.
Which is so important when you're dealing with something as sensitive as your pet's health. You want to know that you're working with a team who is responsive and supportive.
Exact.
And, they really go above and beyond to make sure that you and your pet feel taken care of.
Now, speaking of support, let's not forget that feel-good factor that we were talking about earlier of choosing SPCA Pet Insurance.
Yeah.
By buying a policy, you're also contributing to their work with animals who need it the most.
Absolutely. It's amazing when you purchase a policy, you're helping the SPCA care for over 35,000 neglected animals every single year.
Wow.
It's incredible. So you're not just protecting your own pet, you're making a real difference in the lives of other animals.
That's just such a nice thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about the unique partnership with the SPCA, the flexible coverage options, those awesome multi-pet discounts, and that peace of mind that comes with knowing you're supporting such a good cause.
Yeah.
But what about the nitty-gritty of making a claim?
Right.
What happens when you actually need to use your SPCA pet insurance?
That's a great question and something that we should definitely delve into.
Okay.
So let's talk about that. They've made the process very straightforward and simple.
Okay.
You can actually file a claim online through their pet portal, which is super convenient, or you can give them a call.
All right, so 2 easy options there.
Exactly. Whatever works best for you.
And what are their phone service hours like?
They're available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Okay.
So pretty extended hours.
That's really nice.
Yeah, to make sure that you can reach someone when you need to.
Accessibility is definitely key when you're dealing with a potentially stressful situation.
Absolutely.
But while we're on the topic of important details, what about the fine print?
Yes.
Those exclusions, limits, waiting periods, things that can sometimes trip people up.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Transparency is so crucial when it comes to insurance.
Right.
It's essential to read through those policy documents carefully so that you understand what's covered and what's not. That way there are no surprises down the line.
I think that's a really important point. It's easy to get caught up in the excitement of, getting insurance and just skim over the details.
Yeah.
But taking the time to understand the fine print can really save you a lot of headaches later on.
Oh, absolutely. It's about being proactive and informed.
Yeah.
Just like you would be with any other important decision, right? You wouldn't buy a car without checking the specs first.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Our furry friends deserve that same level of consideration.
They do.
So to wrap things up, what would you say is like the biggest takeaway for our listeners who are thinking about pet insurance?
I think the biggest takeaway is this. SPCA Pet Insurance offers you a way to say yes to the best possible care for your pet, regardless of what life throws your way.
And that's a powerful thing.
It is.
It takes a lot of worry and uncertainty out of pet ownership, right?
It really does.
Especially here in New Zealand.
Yeah, and when you combine that peace of mind with the fact that you're also supporting the SPCA's mission, it makes it a really compelling choice for pet parents here in New Zealand.
I couldn't agree more. It's about having that safety net.
Yeah.
Knowing that you can provide the best care for your furry friend without having to make those really difficult financial decisions.
Exactly. It shifts the focus from, can I afford this, to what's the best thing for my pet?
And that's ultimately what matters most.
It is.
So knowing that you can say yes to the best care for your pet, how does that change your perspective on pet ownership?
That's such a great question, and one that's worth really thinking about, It really highlights that shift from reactive to proactive pet care. Instead of constantly worrying about potential costs, you can focus on providing the best possible life for your furry companion.
It's almost like having that extra layer of security allows you to fully embrace the joys of pet ownership without the constant what-ifs kind of looming over your head.
Absolutely, and that freedom can lead to a much deeper and more fulfilling bond with your pet.
Yeah.
Knowing that they're protected allows you to really cherish every moment together.
I love that. Well said.
Thank you.
I think that's a perfect note to end on for our listeners who want to kind of delve deeper into the specifics of SPCA Pet Insurance. We encourage you to visit their website.
Yes.
And explore the details further.
Absolutely. You'll find a wealth of information there. Policy documents, FAQs, and even some really heartwarming stories of pets who have benefited from their coverage.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, until next time, folks, keep those tails wagging and those purrs rumbling.
And remember, responsible pet ownership includes making sure that their health and well-being are protected.
So we were talking about making a claim. What happens when you actually need to use your SPCA pet insurance?
Yeah. What does that look like?
Well, they've made it really easy. You can do it all online.
Okay.
Through their pet portal, which is super convenient.
Nice.
Or you can just give them a call.
Easy peasy.
Yeah, exactly.
So what are their phone hours like?
They're open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they have pretty extended hours
to
make sure you can reach someone when you need to.
That's great because that accessibility is really key when you're dealing with something stressful.
Oh, absolutely.
Like a sick pet or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, while we're on the topic of important details, I was wondering about the fine print.
Okay. Yeah.
The exclusions, the limits, the waiting periods, all those things that can sometimes trip people up.
You're so right. That transparency is really important when it comes to insurance. It's so essential to read through those policy documents and really understand what's covered and what's not.
Right.
That way there are no surprises down the line.
Yeah, and I think that's a really important point.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in the excitement of getting your pet insurance. And just skimming over all those details.
Right.
But actually taking the time to really understand that fine print.
It saves you so much stress and hassle later on.
Oh, absolutely. It's all about being, proactive and informed. Just like you would be with any other big decision.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't buy a car without checking out all the specs first.
Exactly. Yeah, our furry friends deserve that same level of careful consideration.
Absolutely, they really do.
Okay, so to kind of wrap things up here, what would you say is the biggest takeaway for our listeners who are thinking about pet insurance?
I'd say the biggest takeaway is that SPCA Pet Insurance offers you a way to say yes to the best possible care for your pet.
Okay.
Regardless of what happens.
Regardless of what life throws at you.
Exactly.
And that's a powerful thing.
It is. It really is.
It takes so much worry and uncertainty out of pet ownership.
Oh, for sure.
Especially here in New Zealand.
Absolutely. And when you combine that peace of mind with the feel-good factor of supporting the SPCA, it's a really compelling choice for pet parents here in New Zealand.
I couldn't agree more. It's all about having that safety net, knowing you can provide the best care for your furry friend without having to make those tough financial decisions.
Right, exactly. It shifts the focus from, can I afford this to what's the best thing for my pet?
And that's what really matters at the end of the day.
That's what it's all about.
So knowing that you can say yes to the best care for your pet, how does that change your perspective on pet ownership?
That's such a good question, and one that I think is really worth pondering. It really highlights that shift from reactive to proactive pet care.
Right.
Instead of worrying about what if this happens, what if that happens, you can just focus on providing the best life for your pet.
Yeah, it's almost like that extra layer of security allows you to really just embrace the joy of being a pet parent.
Yeah.
Without all those what ifs.
Absolutely. And that freedom can really lead to a deeper bond with your pet.
Yeah.
Because they're protected.
Yeah.
And you can just focus on enjoying your time with them.
I love that. Well said.
Thank you.
I think that's a perfect note to end on.
Yeah.
For our listeners who want to delve deeper and learn more about the specifics of SPCA pet insurance, where should they go?
Their website is a fantastic resource. You can find everything there.
Awesome.
Policy documents, FAQs, and even some really heartwarming stories of pets who have benefited from SPCA pet insurance.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, it's really inspiring.
Awesome. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into SPCA pet insurance. Hopefully, we've given you some valuable insights and things to think about as you navigate the world of pet insurance here in New Zealand.
Exactly. And remember, guys, being a responsible pet owner also means taking steps to protect their health and well-being.
Absolutely.
And that includes looking into things like pet insurance.
Until next time, folks, keep those tails wagging and those purrs rumbling. Yeah, it really does change the whole dynamic of pet ownership, doesn't it? Knowing that you're prepared for those unexpected vet bills.
Oh, absolutely. It's about shifting from that place of worry and potential financial strain to a place of confidence and peace of mind.
Right.
And knowing that you can focus on providing the best for your pet without that fear of overwhelming costs.
Yeah, and thinking back to those specific coverage examples that we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Like the arthritis in dogs or those unexpected accidents that can happen with cats. It really highlights the value of having that safety net,
Exactly. It's not just about, being prepared for the big things. It's also about those smaller, more common issues that can still add up financially.
It's almost like having a partner in your pet's healthcare journey.
Yeah.
You're not alone in navigating those decisions, and you have a team that understands the unique bond that you share with your furry friend.
Yeah, and that's a really important point. Having that support system in place, both emotionally and financially, can really make all the difference in providing the best possible care for your pet.
And then plus knowing that a portion of your policy is going towards supporting the SPCA's work with animals in need, it just adds another layer of satisfaction to the whole thing.
It really does. You're not just protecting your own pet, you're contributing to the well-being of countless other animals.
Right.
So it's a win-win situation all around.
I think that's a fantastic point to wrap up on.
Yeah.
So for our listeners who are intrigued by SPCA pet insurance and want to learn more, where should they go?
Their website is a great place to start.
Okay.
You can find all the details about their different policy options, read through FAQs, and even see some really heartwarming stories about pets who have benefited from their coverage.
Awesome. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into SPCA pet insurance here in New Zealand.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we've given you some valuable insights to help you kind of navigate this world.
Exactly. And remember, responsible pet ownership includes taking steps to protect their health and well-being.
Yes.
And that includes considering options like pet insurance.
Until next time, everyone keep those tails wagging and those purrs rumbling.